Listen, you're gonna tell me that you're gonna make a game based on Back to the Future. You're gonna take one of the most revered classic franchises and you're gonna take the word game and you're gonna smash these two together. Okay, everybody knows that movie license games suck. They suck. Don't do it. There will never, ever be a good movie license game. Read my lips. Back to the Future, the game, will suck! What the? Oh. Great Scott! Actually worked! I managed to travel back through time in order to finish my review. Now, if my calculations are correct, today is December in 2010. The day that I made the claim that Back to the Future the game would suck. Now, by now the game is released, thus at that very moment proving myself wrong and thus erasing my cynical self from existence. Now, what remains to be seen is if this and the other 4 episodes continue to permanently change my past self's view of movie licensed games. Let's have a look, shall we?
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
The new Back to the Future game is a point-and-click style adventure game, which means that you're going to be exploring environments, picking up and interacting objects, and solving puzzles to advance the story. You control the game by clicking on objects that will have Marty automatically move to those objects. But there are some sections that are a little bit more open and require you to travel between one area and the next, and you can do this in one of 2 ways. You can use the W, A, S, D keys on the keyboard, or you can click and drag the mouse in the direction that you want Marty to move. Now, I can already see that this might frustrate a few PC users because this was clearly intended and put into the game for the PlayStation 3 version when you're playing the game on a controller, which I think is probably gonna be the best way to play this game, since directly controlling your character like that tends to get you more involved. The first thing that you will notice is the superb voice acting. Even Christopher Lloyd reprises his role of Doc Brown, picking up right where he left off 25 years ago, and he sounds great.
Fittingly kicked off by Christopher Lloyd.
Great Scott!
He just did a fantastic job and jumped right back into character.
Kind of like riding a bike, yeah.
Sorry about that, but it's so wonderful to see you. We have a lot of catching up to do.
Another thing that I was surprised to learn is that Marty is not voiced by Michael J. Fox. And while it would have been fantastic for Michael J. Fox to actually have gotten involved, the voice actor that they got, AJ, does a dead-on impression. You won't notice a thing.
Doc, you gotta listen to me. The bruise on your head, I know how that happened. You told me the whole story.
Yeah, I listened to it, and if I didn't know that this was not Michael, I would have assumed it was.
Michael J. Fox is a hero of mine.
Doc, come back! Doc!
I've done a lot of, student voiceover work, but this is my first professional gig, and it's huge.
Oh!
I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd ever be doing this. I mean, it was something that was kind of a joke when I was younger, like, hey, AJ does a great Marty McFly impression, and now it's something that, I'm actually doing it for work. I get to say, what the hell is a gigawatt? And it's no one's laughing at it. They're like, okay, good, let's record that.
A truly magnificent job all around with the rest of the cast as well. So far, the writing is great and the story is interesting, and this is actually the first of 5 episodes that are coming out. Now, what the purpose of this is, I don't know. Episodic content always annoys the hell out of me. It's like, why? Especially in this case where you're paying for all of them up front. Now, if it's done to get these episodes out sooner, then that's cool and I don't have a problem with it. But if all of these episodes are already done, why not just release them all at once instead of dragging it out over half a year? It's frustrating. Now, in this episode, Doc has been missing for some time and the bank is about to sell off his assets. The DeLorean then suddenly shows up, or at least a time-duplicated version of it, and Doc says he's in trouble needing your help. He's stuck in 1931 and will be killed the very next day. So you end up going back in time and meeting up with a cast of both new and old familiar characters from the movies, like Biff Tannen. And as in the original time travels, Tannen, where he was a future punk, and in part 3 where he was an outlaw gunslinger, we get to see a new version of Tannen here, a prohibition mobster.
That's Mr. Tannen to you, Artie. What are you doing out here?
Well, I was getting kind of hungry, so I figured I'd come down here for some free soup.
Just thought I'd come down for some soup. Think, McFly. The DA's
Complete with zoot suit and Tommy gun wielding lackeys. As you can tell, I am pleased with the game, and I'm already looking forward to more. The first episode is about 3 hours long. The meat of the game being the dialogue and the puzzles, of which there are probably only about 6 or 7 substantial puzzles. With hints there if you need them, which likely you won't. And that's my only real gripe with the game. The puzzles were incredibly easy, nothing requiring intense mathematics, mind-bending, no time travel technobabble, and that, while a relief, is a little bit of a disappointment at the same time. But it is no doubt fun playing as Marty and exploring these environments that we saw from the movies. And it's all true to the spirit of the films. Marty isn't a scientist after all, and it all fits, making it a perfect extension of the movies. Now, there were 2 instances where the dialogue was glitched or outright missing. In a chase scene with Kid Tannen, you'll notice that he's lip syncing, but there's no words coming out of his mouth, there's no dialogue. And I think I saw a spelling error somewhere, but it's nothing major. I'm not one to bring up spelling errors. I make spelling errors all the time in my show. None of it takes away from the game or makes it impossible to play. Now, adventure games are an obvious change of pace for most people, but so far, this one is worth it. There is fantastic voice acting, a solid story written by an original.
I'm Bob Gale, co-creator, co-writer, co-producer of the Back to the Future trilogy, and consultant for Telltale's Back to the Future game.
And it's absolutely true to the spirit of the films. So if you're a fan, it's a must-have, right away. There's no question. But for the rest of us, it looks like we are going to be able to add this to the list of games that manages to break the movie license curse. But we should ultimately wait for the other 4 episodes. If I had to give this single episode a final verdict on its own, all things considered, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10, slightly above average. A great intro and primer episode, hopefully leading up to much more climactic, more difficult puzzles, and maybe a bit more action. If this one is 3 hours long, and that's the average, and you take that by 5 episodes, you're gonna end up having a 15-hour-long adventure. And all of that for only $25 for the entire series. Now that is a great value in my opinion, especially with the Back to the Future license and the way some of Telltale games have been priced in the past. I don't know how they're doing it, but I am extremely happy with the price. So for you Back to the Future fans, buy it right now. But for the rest of you, if you want to wait a few more episodes or until the entire series is out, I will make a final verdict video on Back to the Future, the game. I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Oh, thank God. Wait a minute. Does that mean that ultimately, if these games are good, that I'm gonna die? Hello? And has started to prove me wrong. Thus,